I starred in the movie Jurassic World 4, and the role was pretty fun to play. I got to see a bunch of other dinosaurs, got to be more in my natural habitat, which was really fun. Yeah, it was just mostly fun to work with the people too, you know. I wasn't very liked on the set though. Well, sometimes I feel a little underappreciated. Like I'm the only dinosaur around. You know, there's nobody that really gets me. You know?
Get out of here, you dinosaur!
Why, Michael? Why? Why did you do this to me?
You like jazz?
Welcome, humans. Jurassic World Rebirth sure does exist. Right off the bat, there's just no reason for this franchise continuing, other than making money, I guess. And honestly, I would be fine with that if they went either of these two directions. One, make these actually decent and entertaining. It doesn't even have to be super smart or anything. Just make some solid adventure movies that are fun. Or, two, lean into the stupidity. Just make the most dumb, overly convoluted, entertaining nonsense like Sharknado or something. That seems like something I would enjoy. To its credit, this movie definitely tries to be the first thing. The movie really leans away from the annoying nostalgia pandering that, from what I understand, Dominion suffered very much from. I have not seen that movie, and I don't think I will, but just based on the poster, I can tell it's probably trash. Rebirth fast forwards 30 years or so to when dinosaurs are extinct except for on a few islands, just trying to separate itself from the Jurassic World movies as much as it can, which I don't blame it for. So apparently we're just in roughly 2050. I feel like they could have done more with that, make everything futuristic or something mildly interesting. But you know what? The year the movie set isn't important. It's just an excuse to get to the dinosaurs. And that's fine. I was giving this movie a lot of leeway when I was watching. Even if the setup is a little dumb, maybe the rest is pretty solid anyway and just ends up being a decently enjoyable time. I mean, it tries. This movie actually does what lots of Disney slop has not done. They shot the movie on islands, and they apparently shot it on film. Now first off, just because it's shot on location doesn't make it automatically good. It's the bare minimum. Movies should have scenes filmed on location, not in front of a green screen, more often, if not every possible time. Why? Because it looks good. Because it immerses you in the world. And props to this movie for doing that. That's like telling that weird kid in class who always bites people, good job for not biting anyone today. Not my best metaphor. Second, shooting on film? Cool. Good job. But also, why do that? This doesn't take advantage of being shot on film because they did their best to make it look like any other movie from the 2020s. You're just making filming harder for no reason if you don't take advantage of it. Christopher Nolan shot Oppenheimer on film and it looked fantastic. He did it for a reason. I feel like the only reason this was shot on film was for marketing. What really bothers me about this most is it has no idea how to build tension. Take Jurassic Park for example. You know, the only good movie in this useless franchise. Half of the movie is setting up the premise, showing us the wonder and incredibility of dinosaurs being alive, setting up characters that we like and care about. Then, things really start going down when the power goes out, causing those trucks to stop. The scene is dark and atmospheric. It lets you sit in silence and anticipate the horrible things that are going to happen before, you know, having them happen. What this movie does is just, who cares? Go to island, fight dinosaur. Escape dinosaur, have 2 minutes of conversation, fight another dinosaur. I would say that we've lost the ability to have intense scenes or any kind of build-up. But no, Sinners exists. That movie's pretty darn intense. We're capable of doing this, people. Also, if you want people to be invested, please don't make the movie so predictable. At the beginning, you can guess who will live and who will die, and most likely you'll be right. If someone is a jerk or has no personality, then they die. If someone is mildly sympathetic to the audience, they live. Oh, also they live if they're a kid. Just like in literally every single one of these Jurassic movies. I would like them to either not have kids in these movies or kill some kids. Come on, Jaws did it. Watching that part where the kid gets eaten in Jaws freaked me out as a child. Why? Because it shows that there are stakes. There are no stakes here. And this kind of thing really pulls me out of the movie. Speaking of being pulled out of the movie, let's talk about the product placement in this. There are so many candy bars, chip bags, shoes. The movie starts with a guy eating Snickers and then him dropping the wrapper, causing a very high-tech door to just break down. Yeah, I know. That was the dumbest part of the movie by far. Actually, they made sure to show us what brand it was, alright, several times throughout the movie. At one point, Scarlett Johansson is standing in a field, all like, what is that sound? We need to watch out. And then we just hear, crunch, crunch. She turns around and looks at a guy eating mints. He says, want some? And then holds the tin of Altoids like directly in front of the camera so that we can see that it is Altoids. That felt like a commercial. Listen, movies are expensive. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But at least make it not so noticeable that it takes you out of the experience like that. For example, the movie Triangle of Sadness has a scene where they're unloading food and then there's just a bunch of Nutella. It was a little bit of obvious product placement, but it only lasted for like a second. And the Nutella wasn't the focus of the scene. That Altoid scene was bordering on being a commercial. Granted, the other product placement was less atrocious than that one in particular, but there's still brands showing up all over the place for no reason that really makes sense in the story. Why are they eating junk food in the jungle constantly? This is like $1 billion company. Why do they need to put product placement in their movie to make more money? It's not like they're struggling financially. They can just whip this out and have it fail and like move on with their life. They have all the money. I don't understand the need for this. Man, this is really bumming me out. I don't think I have the heart to continue on with this review. At least without a quick snack. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. Ah! Where was I? Oh yeah, kill the children. There was one scene in particular that really bugged me, where Scarlett Johansson and that one scientist guy were having a quote-unquote emotional scene where they're talking about sad things that happen to them or something. And then the Jurassic Park theme just starts playing out of nowhere. I thought that was really weird because it does not communicate the emotion that the scene seems to be attempting to communicate. Even weirder was that the theme didn't play when we got that, oh wow, the dinosaurs, they're beautiful moment. In general, the music made some odd choices and came off as manipulative a lot of the time. It kind of reminds me of the score from Rise of Skywalker, actually. This review has been very negative so far, so apologies for all the cynicism, okay? It's a bad movie. I gotta call it out. There's just a lot that bugged me about this. However, I will say that it could have been worse. I appreciate that they actually put some effort into the location, shooting on film, building sets. I appreciate that they didn't hit us in the head with the reminders of the previous movies, because that can be so annoying, although they apparently can't resist a few nods here and there to the first one. But once again, these things are the bare minimum. Just because that's what 2020's blockbusters have been, doesn't mean that being less bad gives you a pass for not being good. Despite all my issues with this, it's not horrible. It's fairly harmless. My family enjoyed it. It was a pretty fun theater experience, minus the actual movie, if you know what I'm saying. And to end on a positive note, this is the first time in a while that I've heard people clap in a theater once the movie's done. That's nice. I'm glad those normal audience members enjoyed their time with it. But yeah, this kind of sucked. Could have used more Scarlett Johansson in Aviators, 4 out of 10.